Good evening. Would like to call to order the May 16th, 2016 meeting of the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners. It's good to have everyone with us tonight. I'll remind everyone to please silence your cell phones and mobile devices. At this time, we are very pleased to have presenting the colors tonight, Girl Scout Troop 1584 from Harvest Harrisburg Church. Please stand.
Color guard, attention. Color guard, advance. Color guard, post colors. Girl Scouts, honor the flag of your country. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color guard, dismissed.
Please be seated. Thank you, and after the invocation, we'll ask you to come back up, you Girl Scouts, and introduce yourselves. We're very pleased to have with us tonight Pastor Neil Carter from Rocky River Presbyterian Church for our invocation.
I was thinking, boy, I'd hate to be the guy I have to follow that. Let us pray. Gracious God, it was once said that the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases, your mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness, and therefore we have hope. We have hope this evening that we are guided by your Spirit and by your love. We have hope that those who give of themselves to make this community a better place are blessed by your Spirit. We have hope that we can work together as people of this county to make this a better place. We have hope that we can do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly before you. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. We appreciate you being with us tonight. We would also like to observe a moment of silence in recognition of J.B. Roberts, who passed away this week. J.B. was a Cabarrus native who grew up on his family farm in the Flow Store community. He graduated from Bethel High School in Midland, attended Mars Hill College before joining the U.S. Navy in August of 1941. As a World War II veteran, he took part in the Battle of the Coral Sea and the Battle of Midway, where he survived the sinking of the USS Yorktown. He raised 7 children and served as sheriff of Cabarrus County from 1956 until 1982, while also working full-time managing his 200-acre farm in Midland. As sheriff, J.B. was instrumental in helping develop a law enforcement training program for the state of North Carolina, which is still in use to this day. In 2007, Governor Mike Easley honored J.B.'s work in law enforcement, awarding him with the Order of the Longleaf Pine. He was also former president of the North Carolina Sheriff's Association, a member of the Union Masonic Lodge 618 AF and AM in Midland, the Black Phillips American Legion Post 443 in Midland, the Lions Club of Midland, and the VFW. If you would just observe a moment of silence in memory of Mr. Roberts. Thank you very much. And at this time, we'd like to invite our Girl Scout troop to the microphone to introduce themselves, and Commissioner Honeycutt will have a pin for you. If you'd come on forward now. I hope we got the microphone so you can get close to it. Just speak loudly.
Hello, my name is Madeline Grace Cox, and my school is Rocky River Elementary School.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Renee Dumkowski, and my school is Harrisburg Elementary School.
Thank you.
My name is Mia Elizabeth Medina, and I am at Rocky River Elementary School.
Thank you.
My name is Sydney, and I'm at Rocky River Elementary.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kennedy King, and I go to Harrisburg Elementary School.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sierra Dobson. I go to Ace Academy.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Zoe, and I go to Harrisburg Elementary School.
Thank you. We very much appreciate you girls being with us tonight and doing such a great job. And thank you again, Pastor Carter, for being with us also. First item on our agenda is the approval or correction of the minutes, and you all have copies of those before you. I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next item is approval of the agenda, which you also have before you tonight, along with the changes on page 253. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next are our recognition and presentations. We're very happy to have with us tonight Tracy LeCompte from Cooperative Extension, and she's going to recognize some very special graduating seniors tonight. Welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tracy LeCompte. I'm the 4-H agent for Cabarrus County Cooperative Extension, and I have the honor of working with some of Cabarrus County's finest youth, and we have some very special graduating seniors that we would like to honor tonight for the 2015-2016 Cabarrus County Youth Commission. At this time, I'd like to invite our president, Keely Curry, who is not herself a graduating senior, but is a junior, so we look forward to having her serve one more year. But I invite Keely to come up and give her address.
Hello, my name is Keely Curry. I'm a junior at Central Cabarrus High School, and I'm the president of the Cabarrus County Youth Commission. This year, the commission has attended business meetings every second Monday of the month and travel meetings every fourth Monday of the month. During our business meetings, we have discussed places and problems in the community that need attention or could be improved. We have learned about little free libraries, the risk associated with sexting, and also ACEs and troubled childhood development. In our travel meetings, we visited several departments in the county government. For example, we visited the Cabarrus Health Alliance, Cabarrus County Jail, Board of Elections, Animal Control, Solid Waste Management, and we saw the local viewing of the documentary Paper Tigers. We also have worked on team building and refocusing the goals of our commission as a whole in order to recruit future members and have a strong commission going forward. In closing, I would like to thank our advisor, Tracy LeCompte, for being such an inspiration and motivating us to have such a great year under her guidance. Thank you for your continued support of our commission, and at this time, I invite our seniors to come forward and introduce themselves and share their future goals.
Good evening. My name is Christina Jones. I am Vice President of the Youth Commission this year. I go to Mount Pleasant High School, and I plan to attend Drexel University in Philadelphia and major in mechanical engineering.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cooper McCauley. I am a senior at Central Cabarrus High School, and I will be attending NC State University, studying in animal science and poultry science.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alvarez Neely. I go to Concord High School, and I plan on attending Gardner-Webb University and studying sports management.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Danica Ng. I go to Hickory Ridge High School. I'm planning on attending University of Charlotte, and I plan on majoring in biology.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, Laura, come on.
Hi, my name is Lauren Troll, and I'm a senior at A.L. Brown. I plan to go to UNC Chapel Hill and major in political science.
Thank you.
And we are excited this evening to also have our other returning commissioners. They will be serving another year with us. So if you are a returning commissioner, would you please stand? And we will be heading down to the multipurpose room to continue our celebration for the year. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, and congratulations to all of you. And I really like your shirts, by the way. They're very nice. We look forward to seeing some of you back up here sitting in these chairs in a few years, because you're certainly getting the education. So we appreciate your interest and involvement. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is a retirement recognition, and I think Alan Thompson and Ben Rose are going to handle that for us. Not a retirement, excuse me. A recognition.
I think he would maybe.
He was getting excited for a minute there.
It's an honor to be back before you again tonight to recognize another member of the Human Services Department for doing something that made a difference in our community. On April the 3rd of 2016, Rocky Esparza was off duty with his family, I believe, and stumbled across an auto accident in which a patient was severely injured to the point that we would definitely describe those injuries as life-threatening. Based upon his prior training in the United States Marine Corps and training that he has received while he has been employed by Cabarrus County EMS, he jumped into action, provided first aid, and it was first aid that truly made a difference. As our guys got there, law enforcement got there, evaluated the patient, we all agreed that the outcome would have been much different without his actions. So tonight, we gather to present the EMS Meritorious Service Award to Rocky for the life-saving actions he administered on April 3rd of 2016 to a citizen of Cabarrus County. His quick thinking, his willingness to help, and mastery of his training resulted in a life saved. And on that day, you made a difference, and we want to acknowledge what you did, the outcome, and we just want to thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I want to say thank you to everybody. I want to definitely thank my family for being strong and brave that day too. My wife for calling 911 immediately. For my daughter being strong and understanding after everything was said and done. And I know it was kind of scary for her, but after she understood everything, she sees her father as a hero, and that's important to me. So thank you. Thank you all for this.
Great.
I would just like to say too, Rocky is a hero in a lot of ways. He's our rock star in DHS. He always gets the most applause at the staff meetings, and it's just really an amazing thing that we're here 2 months in a row with stories like this. And I think it just shows the dedication and commitment of our employees and our social workers, that we get into this business to serve. And you've got two great examples of social workers serving our citizens here. So we're just pleased and grateful. And thank you for letting us share this story with you tonight.
Great. Thank you. We appreciate what you do, and Cabarrus County employees are the ones that make us look good all the time, and we sincerely appreciate your dedication. And And I don't, the family and this individual certainly could never express to you how appreciative they are. So thank you very much, and I'm sorry for exciting you about the early retirement.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is a Memorial Day proclamation, which I will read now. Whereas across this great country, America will join on May 30th, 2016 to honor her fallen heroes of the armed forces, and whereas Memorial Day was first proclaimed a national holiday in 1868 to pay homage to those who answered the call to defend the principles on which our nation was founded, and whereas throughout the course of generations, both at home and on foreign soil, men and women in uniform have sacrificed for the promise of freedom, the preservation of our values, and the ideals of democracy. And whereas men and women in uniform have paid for our liberty with their lives, we hold in remembrance their selflessness with deepest honor and respect, and are indebted to their memories for the valiant and honorable path of service they followed. And whereas we share in the sorrow with and express our support to the families who also sacrificed greatly for their fellow citizens as they gave up their sons and daughters to serve our country and to serve for a day when peace will abound. Now therefore be it resolved that the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim Memorial Day, May 30th, 2016, in recognition of the men and women in uniform who have made the supreme sacrifice, and further urge all citizens to pause for a moment of silence at noon on May 30th, 2016, to honor and to reflect on the memory of our fallen heroes of the armed forces. Adopted the 16th day of May, 2016. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to accept this proclamation.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next item is a proclamation declaring EMS Week. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services teams consist of emergency physicians, emergency nurses, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, firefighters, educators, administrators, and others. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education, enhance their life-saving skills, and whereas Americans benefit daily from the knowledge and skills of these highly trained individuals, and whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical service providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. And now therefore be it resolved that we, the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 15th through 21st as Cabarrus County Emergency Medical Services Week. And do I hear a motion to adopt this proclamation?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes, and thank you to all our EMS personnel that are with us tonight. And we hear stories every single day about their dedication and the great service they provide to people when they really need it. As much as I like them, I always say I do not want them pulling up in my driveway. But if I need them, I'm happy that they're available to do that. At this time, we move on to informal public comments. And I do have one card tonight, and that is from Gary Walker.
Mr. Chairman, this is related to an agenda under new business. Should I speak now or?
Whichever is your preference. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Downs, I appreciate this opportunity. Before you tonight, you'll hear an economic development grant, I think, that you've discussed already in your work session for a 75,000 square foot speculative office building in the International Business Park, Class A office building. Our firm represents the Nolan Group, which is the developer of the International Business Park, and this particular project is a joint venture of the Nolan Group, of CM Black Construction Company, and CSI, Alex Rankin's organization. So the three of these organizations have gone together to build this speculative building. The estimated cost will be in excess of $6 million, and anticipate this is the first Class A office speculative building in our county, and we anticipate recruiting a very upscale company to locate there that will employ quite a few people, hopefully at a very good wage or good salary. And so on behalf of the partnership and the Nolan Group, we would respectfully request your consideration and vote in the affirmative for these incentives that's going to come before you here in a while. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you
We appreciate
very
you being
much.
here. That is the only yellow card that I have tonight. Is there anybody else that has an item they'd like to speak? Yes, sir.
Sorry about that, sir. I don't know, I was getting the feel of the Bible and I feel like it good.
Yeah, if you need to come to the microphone to speak, yeah.
You can give her your card.
I would like to say it's a pleasure to be here first and foremost. And I see it's like a pretty great little Holy Spirit in here. Well, big Holy Spirit, nothing little about the Holy Spirit. It's just pleased to be here. Coming well, I'm from around here, but I went to California as well to go to school and everything else. But my family was sick back here, and I love the city so much. I was working at Burger King, UPS, and Transamerica, but I had gastrophysis as well, so I was on medical marijuana. And that really helped transition my life and put something better to me and bring back value, because I almost died as well in the car wreck. And man, it was just like a blessing to give life again, to see what the world could really be, especially the city, the town, of people that's on dialysis and just everything, the prescription pills and everything else, what can make the city better. And of course we could stop crime and do things to commit things from the black market, and just big opportunities just from hemp and medical marijuana. And I see so much potential here, much more than California. I'm like, wow, we just the third best business in the U.S. We could be number one. We could be the best, at everything. This city, this town, this county, we all got it in us. And from seeing everything from San Diego, meeting those people to just being here, it's man, not only are we doing big and great things, but we could take it to a whole nother heights just for our children, our youth, because just seeing the girls, I have a little girl as well, she's out in Cali, and just hearing her talk is a blessing to my heart. So just seeing those little girls just do what they did, man, they're our future, and we're thank you for y'all for providing for us the way that y'all did and everything. Everybody, y'all salute y'all. Y'all our OGs, basically. Our forefathers, everything else, 1796, this city was founded. I was man, thinking back from American Revolution when everything was being built on, and from the old days to now, no, we all came from the same place. God created this world, Egypt, Africa, Israel, Babylon, whatever you want to call everything, how we all got here to. It's just, I see a lot of potential in this city, and just the stars. Just a big movement just for health reasons, educational reasons. Of course, give back to the schools. And I seen all the high schools, other high school kids that was in here talking about science or political science, talking about speaking and just doing something for the communities and everything. That's like a great feeling to see. Just y'all keep helping like young kids to accomplish their dreams on the mental level, keep giving them like great aspirations and like, y'all role models. We like follow y'all. Couldn't do it without the county. Not where it started. That's all I want to say. No, thank you. Appreciate that, sir.
Okay, is there anyone else that wishes to speak in informal public comments? If not, we'll move on to old business. We have one item that is emergency medical service non-emergency franchise renewal for American Transmed. This is the second reading. We also had a hearing for that at our last meeting. And Alan has already left us. No, there. Did you have anything you wanted to say, Alan? No. Okay, great. Okay, is there anybody else that wishes to speak regarding our franchise renewal with American Transmed? If not, I would entertain a motion to adopt the franchise ordinance.
So moved.
And approve the agreement with American Transmed.
Right, okay. Adopt the franchise and approve the agreement. And we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next item is our consent agenda, which you all have before you, which consists of items that we've discussed previously at our work session 2 weeks ago. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes, and we move on to new business. First item on our new business agenda is from the Economic Development Corporation, a grant request for Project Earhart, and Samantha Grass is here to talk with us about that, and Leanne Nixon. I've got you both in different ones down
Samantha will be right
there.
behind me, but thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. We would like your consideration for a potential expansion of one of our existing companies, Flyrite Holdings, Inc. They are a professional flight school that attracts talented pilots from around the globe. Currently, they have 22 employees, which their average wages are approximately $60,000 a year, which is well above our average wages in the county. This project would allow Flyrite to add 10 more jobs at similar wages. They are proposing an expansion at Silverman's 108,000 square foot building on Aviation Boulevard. This would utilize 26,000 square feet of property, and they would also add an additional second floor to the building, which would give them 40,000 square foot for classroom and simulator training. You'll hear more about this building in a little bit from Samantha, too. The total investment would be $5 million, where $2.5 million actually qualifies for the county's potential grant consideration. The breakdown of their investment is $2 million in equipment and $500,000 in, $2 million in, yeah, that is correct, $2 million in equipment and $500,000 in upfits that directly relate to the equipment installation. A 3-year grant at 85% on the $2.5 million is $44,625, which would still allow the county to receive a tax revenue of $7,875 during that 3-year period of time. On May the 12th, the City of Concord approved a 3-year 85% economic development grant for Flyrite. And tonight, we're also asking for your support to consider a 3-year 85% grant for them. Any questions, I'd be glad to answer at this time.
Okay, questions, commissioners? Of course, this is all items that we have discussed before, and we do require a public hearing on this. So at this time, I will declare the public hearing open and invite anybody to the microphone that would like to speak regarding this project. Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. And Commissioners, what is your pleasure on this item?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the economic development grant as presented.
Great, thank you. Do I hear a second? Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll just mention that it certainly is a pleasure when, we have folks talk a lot of times about what do we do to help our existing businesses. And I think this is an excellent example of a company that came here that we encouraged and I think received an incentive initially. And now they're expanding and growing and providing more jobs, and it's great to have an opportunity to do that. Do you have something, Commissioner Honeycutt?
I was just going to ask, I had in my notes where that was for the positions for sales and marketing team, trainers and technicians. Is that still in line with what they're thinking from a job perspective?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, at this time, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes unanimously. Next, we have another item from Economic Development Corporation, and this is for Project Milo. And so, Samantha, I had those exactly reversed. So, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Samantha Grass, Recruitment Project Manager for Cabarrus EDC. As Leanne stated, just thank you for allowing us to come to you tonight to present these projects. 4540 Fortune Avenue LLC, Project Milo, is proposing a spec Class A office building here in Cabarrus. Their proposed 75,000 square foot, one-story Class A building would be constructed on lots 7 and 8 at the end of Fortune Avenue in the International Business Park, Concord. The estimated investment for the building shell and tenant improvements is $8.1 million. Their investment exceeds the minimum requirements of the Economic Development Grant. We have also included in your information a grant analysis based on that estimated $8.1 million investment. A 3-year 85% Economic Development Grant is $144,585. Net revenue to the county during that same 3-year term is $25,515. We are asking for your consideration tonight of a 3-year 85% Economic Development Grant, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you all have.
Any questions for Samantha?
This is not a question since we discussed this before, but for the viewing public, explain to them what a Class A building is.
Sure. Mr. Walker did a great job. Class A spec, and it's unlike many projects that we will bring before you for industrial spec. Class A would allow us to promote this building for Class A office users. So that could be a high-end, it could be a call center high-end jobs, it could be any Class A office user that, we don't have this product currently in Cabarrus County.
So a Class A means that it's a business that may have an office, this is just an example, may have offices in Mecklenburg County, but they need additional offices, and they might come here and have back offices here.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not an industrial building.
That's correct.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, we do require a public hearing on this item as well. So I will open the public hearing and invite anybody to the podium that would like to speak about this project. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have any additional discussion before voting? If not, do I hear a motion regarding this request?
Move for approval.
Second motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. And then we're very pleased to have this as a product that we haven't had in Cabarrus County before. And I think we see that the demand certainly moving in our direction, so it's great to have that to offer to folks. Next, we have another item from Economic Development, and is this going to be Samantha or Leanne? Samantha, okay. I had that one right. I should have gone ahead. And this is for Project Print.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for your support of Project Milo's investment. We're excited to be bringing 3 projects to you tonight. iTech Graphics Project Print is considering relocating their operations in Charlotte to Cabarrus County. iTech is a commercial printing company, and they would lease approximately 63,000 square feet of space in the Silverman's Aviation Industrial Spec Building that's under construction right now. Leanne mentioned that previously. Flywright is looking to occupy that same building as well as iTech. iTech estimates that they will invest over $4.3 million in personal property at the Concord location. They currently employ 52 at their Charlotte location, but anticipate 15 new full-time jobs being added over the next 2 years. Please note that their average wage is well above our current Cabarrus County average wage. Their investment exceeds the minimum requirements of the Economic Development Grant. Included in your information packet is that grant analysis based on the $4.38 million investment. A 3-year 85% economic development grant is $78,239. Net revenue to the county during that same 3-year term is $13,807. Again, we are asking for your consideration of a standard 3-year 85% grant.
Great.
And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay. Questions, commissioners? Thank you. And we do require a public hearing on this item as well, so I will open the public hearing and invite anyone to the podium that wishes to speak on this request. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, what's your pleasure on this item? Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? It's awfully nice to hear, that we have net revenue the first year on these projects, and especially when we'd like for 100% of those jobs to be in Cabarrus County, and some of these are going to be in Mecklenburg, but I think it's important for us to remember that when those folks come into Cabarrus County to work, like so many years we've gone into Mecklenburg County to work, they're here eating lunch in our restaurants and buying gas and goods and services while they're in Cabarrus County, so we benefit in several different directions. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no, and that motion passes. Thank you. We'd like to have 3 every month.
Mr. Chairman, I wanted to make a comment since you was talking about that. It's wonderful that we've had 3 economic development situations brought to us tonight. And I just want to make sure that the viewing audience and the ones that's here understand that, sure, we're having to give a little bit, but whatever they do brings jobs for years to come. And it also helps us to grow the economy in Cabarrus County with new money. New development gives new money, and it keeps your taxes low. So, we're going to be hearing the county manager's proposed 2016-17 budget just in a little bit, and you'll see that we've had growth there, and that growth is because of things like that we're talking about tonight. So we are glad that we're having this, and I hope that we can get 3 or 4 every month, because we know that sets the pace for the future. And I thank you, Samantha and Leanne, for all that you're doing there, and everybody that works to bring people to Cabarrus County. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. I had the pleasure of speaking to the graduates at Rowan Cabarrus Community College at their commencement on Friday, and that was the topic that I talked about, was what you folks are doing and what we're trying to do and how we're trying to provide jobs for people in Cabarrus County and give particularly our recent graduates options so they can stay in Cabarrus County and continue to enjoy what we have here. So thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is from Active Livings and Parks, and I think Londa is going to talk with us about Vietnam Veterans Coalition Monument Proposal.
That is correct. The Cabarrus Veterans Coalition, who was very instrumental in getting the name changed of North Cabarrus Park to the Vietnam Veterans Park, also wanted to have a memorial in the park, a monument in the park. So we've been working with them over the last several months. Mike Murphy, our park, our park superintendent, has been working with them the most. I'm going to ask him to come up along with Robert McLeod so that they can give you more detailed information. But at our work session, we had some questions in reference to cost, and we do have that nailed down now to $10,870, of which is in the budget, and that would be for the concrete walkway as well as the pad going in and all the grading work that goes with that.
Good evening. Hope you're all doing well. Walking in this evening, I got a preview of the budget and the numbers that we had discussed at the workshop prior to this meeting. And I'm very happy to see that they've reached the goal and are under budget. And we're hoping now that everything works through the commission to support the end of this project for us. We're very, very proud of what we've accomplished in Cabarrus County, and we're bringing more and more Vietnam veterans to the table to celebrate this moment of recognition for us. I look forward to the continued growth of gathering together our Vietnam vets. They have been hidden, as we say, but now their brothers and sisters are amongst us. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
You've seen the presentation, you went through it at the work session. Do you have questions, or would you like to see the presentation again? Or I'm prepared to answer any questions or do as much or as little as you'd like to see.
Okay. We did talk about this at our work session 2 weeks ago, and we do have that cost breakdown included. I think maybe that was one of the things we were questioning at that time. The Cabarrus Veterans Coalition, of course, is paying for the monument itself. Correct. And a portion of this project. Are you in a fundraising mode on that, or have you already completed that? Or
we are still doing the end of the fundraising activities. I believe we have reached the goal enough so that we can order the monument itself.
Okay.
There'll be a meeting between us to discuss where that goes, and that's relatively soon.
Great. But this is a great opportunity for you to let folks know how they can get involved if they're interested in contributing or participating.
Absolutely. We've really flooded our marketplace, both with independent tribunes, space that they allow us. One was published yesterday. We've reached into the community, and they've really responded with donations to help the project. We've all, my board and all the others have donated quite a bit of money, and we're going to reach a bit more, maybe get this up to the 10,000 mark. We're not sure yet, but at least we'll have enough there to complete this fine project, and I'm very, very happy with what is taking place.
Great. Thank you very much. Commissioners,
I'm sorry, the breakdown so far, the total project with the figures that we have today is $19,384 with the Veterans Coalition paying $7,200 of that to cover the cost of the monument itself and benches to go around the monument. The balance of that's $12,184 that will be provided by infrastructure and asset management. Bear with me, I'm recovering from laryngitis. Infrastructure and asset management's budget, and that will cover the site prep, the concrete work, and retaining wall.
Right. Okay. Commissioners, do you have questions for either? Yes, ma'am.
So you guys are going to raise about $7,200. So how far along are you on that? How close are you to having?
My wife happens to be the treasurer.
I knew that you were
Both at
going
home
to
and on
default
this
to the
board.
expert.
We have 70.8% of that right now. We've exceeded 5,100, which is more than the monument, so we're working now on paying for the 5 benches.
Can you please say that to the microphone?
So, or I can repeat it. You said you've raised $5,100 so far.
Correct.
And you need $7,200 to meet the cost of the monument and the benches.
That's correct.
And for the county staff, I think two of those costs are kind of soft cost, if you
Correct.
will, but the $10,870 are
Contracted
concrete
costs.
and everything that, the wall and everything else that has to be done. So that's the true hard cost, if you will, of the project for the
That's
county
my
to fund.
understanding from Mr. Pilfer's budget, yes.
Yeah,
And-
one thing to add to that, though, is that's for the current location. We have not gotten the current location approved yet through Duke Energy because it's in the right-of-way and under their power lines. I did speak with Mr. Welch this afternoon, and going to set up a meeting with their engineers and Mr. Murphy and Mr. Billifer to meet on site. And they said they would do everything they could possibly do to get it in the location, the preferred location, but they do have their guidelines that they have to go by, so they may have to move it a little bit. So I'm not sure if that would impact the cost or not, but do want to make sure that that was understood, so.
So when you say move it a little bit, if it's here, it might go like here?
It
You're not
may-
talking like if it's planned to go here, that's going to be way over another completely different site, are you, or are you?
Would have to move, well, my understanding is, again, the engineers are going to come and talk to them and look at the monument and see what, or see what the drawings look like, but it may have to move out of the right-of-way. Yeah, so it could be, I'm not sure, I've not been on the site in a while, but it could be 100 feet, it could be
Yeah, it could be
5 feet.
significant.
We don't know yet, so.
Right now, the plan is to put it as you come into the park, so it's visible as you drive into the park. But it is under the utility right-of-way. So depending on their approval, we may have to move it wherever, but our plan is still to be as visible and accessible as possible. Where we are now, we're close to parking. There is a restroom planned for future development in that area, which will help us with accessibility. So we're working towards that with this location. So those are things that we've considered to put it where we have put it. But again, it's pending the approval of Duke Energy.
Okay, any additional questions?
May I?
I just-
I think within the parameter of where the location is now, moving east, west, north, south, 150, 200 feet, wouldn't upset our plan at this point, depending what the right-of-way is for Duke Power. So we can consider that, and we're not too afraid of what that does for exposure. I think that will certainly help us.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Minot.
I was just wondering if someone is watching this and wants to help you with it, how do they get in touch with someone?
Where do they send the check?
Oh, yes, the P.O. Box, please.
P.O. Box 2083.
P.O. Box 2083, and that is Concord or Kannapolis?
Concord.
28026.
Okay, great. Any additional questions? Ms. Poole?
I don't have a question, just a comment for the commissioners, that I would be willing to make a motion that we proceed with this project, and that since there is some unknowns still involved, that we would authorize up to $15,000. And they've already raised $5,100. That would put us over the projected amount for right now. If there are additional funds that come in, then we could balance that out and let staff do that. And that it would come, I presume we have that in that particular budget line item. If not, then any small variance would come out of the commissioner's contingency. I think that we need to move forward and get this project going and start as soon as we can. As soon as you can get notification from Duke Energy then let's go ahead and get it done in the month of June, so.
Yeah, I believe they'll be able to meet on site with Mr. Murphy and Mr. Billifer next week.
So I would put that in the form of a motion that we approve the project pending approval from Duke Energy or the appropriate location at the park for an amount not to exceed $15,000 from the IM budget or commissioner contingency as needed to balance.
Okay, we
And
have a motion.
Thank them
Yes,
for their
ma'am.
support.
Yes. Do I hear a second to that motion?
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion and a second that we proceed forward with the project not to exceed 15,000 from which either the commissioner's contingency or if there is not enough in the existing budget. Any further questions or discussions? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Thank you very much. We
Thank you
appreciate you
very
being
much.
with us. Thank you. Okay, next item on our agenda is transfer of surplus vehicles to Cabarrus County Health Alliance, and Mr. Billifer is going to talk with us about that.
Good evening. The Cabarrus County Health Alliance has requested 2 surplus vehicles from Cabarrus County to support the mosquito control program. The vehicles requested for transfer are a two Ford Crown Vics, so from our Sheriff's Department. It's a 2007 asset number 8020 and a 2006 Ford asset 2203. They were scheduled for surplus at the end of the month. As we got new vehicles in, these are the ones that we surplus out and sell at auction. The Infrastructure and Asset Management and Finance Departments have both reviewed the request, and the attached vehicles are available for surplus transfer to Cabarrus County Health Alliance per North Carolina General Statute 153A-176, 160A-274, and 160A-280. So I know that this should have come to you in the work session, but this was a last-minute desire that was kind of thrown to us, and we wanted to get it up in front of you since mosquito control is now the time to kind of get out and do it. The other page on the attachment that's on the agenda is the actual request letter from the Cabarrus Health Alliance, where they explain their 2 seasonal workers and what they need these vehicles for. So I'm looking for a motion to declare the 2 county vehicles as surplus property and authorize disposition to the Cabarrus Health Alliance in accordance with the county's policy.
Great. Thank you. Any questions? Okay, do I hear a motion?
Make the motion to declare 2 county vehicles as surplus property and authorize disposition of the Cabarrus Health Alliance in accordance with the county's policy.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope they can kill all the mosquitoes in Cabarrus County. Big job. Next is item number 6, Planning and Development, and Kelly Sifford is with us to talk about Lomax Farm lease agreement.
Yes, thank you. At the agenda session, they came before you, showed you their master plan, reported that back to you as you requested, and during that session, it was recommended that they look at a 5-year lease instead of the 1-year lease that we had been doing. They went back and they looked at that, and they did agree that that was a good idea. So they have submitted to you, and that should have been in your late-breaking material, a new lease agreement that's revised. What I would like to recommend is that, I don't know if Rich has had time to review this or not because it was very late breaking, is to authorize the county attorney and the county manager to execute that agreement after our budget report, although it did remove that from this. So I think that was probably a good idea, that way we won't have to mess with the money part every year. We can just do this lease and then deal with the money separately during the regular process.
Okay, great.
Any questions?
Questions, commissioners?
Not really a question. I'm just glad that they were willing to work with us on this, because it only really makes sense to do 5 years versus year to year to year for reasons that we talked about during the work session. And so I'm glad that they were receptive to that idea. And
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, if you want me to, I'll go ahead and make a motion while I'm speaking that we accept this new arrangement, and with the county attorney and the county manager to work out the details with whoever they need to, and let's get it on paper and continue what we're doing in Cabarrus County.
Okay, do I hear a second to that motion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Some exciting things going on and some exciting plans, and I'm happy to see it going forward. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. And that motion passes. Next item on our agenda is the presentation of the proposed fiscal year 17 Cabarrus County budget and scheduling of a public hearing, and County Manager Downs.
Thank you. Your notebooks are at your stations. We won't go through the notebooks tonight, other than presenting them to you, and then we will start our review of the budget on the 24th. But I do want to read my message and introduce the budget to you. Honorable Chairman and members of the Board of County Commissioners, it is my pleasure to submit the recommended Cabarrus County General Fund or operating budget to you for fiscal year 2017. This proposed budget is prepared in accordance with the general statutes of North Carolina and the North Carolina Local Government Budget and Fiscal Control Act. The Board's mission, vision, and goals remain in the forefront to provide direction to staff in the creation of this comprehensive and balanced budget. This year's budget process officially kicked off in October of 2015, as our department heads and managers began to review their departmental programs, services, and operating budgets. In doing so, they determined their department's level of success and their contribution to meeting the Board of Commissioners' identified goals and objectives. The departments then identified and requested future and operational financial needs in their proposed budgets for review and consideration of county management. As a result, the proposed budget provides appropriate funding for the mandated functions of county government and the non-mandated programs and services that contribute to the high quality of life that our citizens have come to expect. It is my recommendation that the Board of Commissioners approve a general operating budget for the amount of $233,106,684 for fiscal year 17. Which would represent a 5.97% decrease in spending from FY16's revised budget. The FY16 amended budget includes an $18,779,157 transfer from the Capital Reserve Fund based on the county's 15% fund balance policy. Funding for the proposed budget requires an ad valorem tax rate of 70 cents. This rate is 0.0023 cents higher than the revenue neutral rate that was established in our reevaluation process. The budget maintains current levels of spending when possible and provides additional funding to selected programs and services in order to enhance levels of service, meet the demands of a growing community, and improve customer service. We've addressed the growing capital and current expense needs of our two public school systems, and Rowan Cabarrus Community College is also addressed in a manner that is sustainable for the near future. There is also increased funding to address growing deferred maintenance projects within our school systems. Economic and operational impacts on the county budget. Cabarrus County, like most metropolitan areas of the region, state, and country, continue to experience a high volume of residential, commercial, and industrial growth over the last year. This growth created a positive impact to the county's revenues as well. Projections indicate ad valorem and sales tax revenues will increase by $10,943,770 in fiscal year 17. This equates to a projected growth of 6.73% in ad valorem taxes and 3.89% growth in sales taxes. When comparing amended budget FY16 to projected FY17. Staff continues to monitor potential impacts to our revenue streams, including state and national forecasts and projections identified by the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. However, the county continues to use a conservative approach when projecting for our budgetary purposes. 2, Cabarrus County's population continues to increase each month. the North Carolina Office of Budget and Management projects that our population will reach and exceed 200,000 people by July of this year. As a result, Cabarrus County continues to be ranked the 11th out of 100 counties in North Carolina based on its population. This growth in population brings additional demands on our public services, especially school capital and operational needs. 3, Cabarrus County Schools, Kannapolis City Schools, and Rowan Community College continue to request additional funding to meet their growing capital, deferred maintenance, and operating needs. In addition, the number of charter schools in the county continues to increase, which requires the county to redirect funds for Cabarrus students enrolled in local charter schools. 4, although our North Carolina legislators continue to discuss increasing lottery funds or reinstating increasing lottery funds to counties, they have not made a decision to do so as of yet. Therefore, funding our schools' capital needs continues to demand a large portion of our local funding, and as such creates a challenge for meeting all of the increasing expense needs identified and requested by the respective boards of education. Economic development efforts prove beneficial as several new businesses decided to locate in Cabarrus County, and existing businesses made decisions to enlarge their facilities and increase their number of employees. Many other businesses are considering our county as a location to relocate existing facilities or expand their companies. The Economic Development Commission is completing several requests for information packets each month. 6, while our state legislators made efforts to modify the sales tax collection and distribution process last year, the end result did not have a negative impact on Cabarrus County revenues. However, discussions to revise the process and starting again, which could have a negative impact on our sales tax in FY17 and beyond. Staff will continue to monitor and, along with our commissioners, advocate against any changes that negatively impact our county. 7, Emergency Medical Services, or EMS, implemented its community paramedic program this fiscal year, and it has been very successful. The program is a partnership with CMC Northeast designed to reduce readmissions to the hospital through post-discharge follow-up care delivered by our EMS paramedics. The short-term results indicate the program is already making a positive impact on the well-being of our citizens, EMS operations, and the volume of traffic in the hospital emergency rooms. 8, our library and active living and park staff collaborated throughout the year to bring new programs to our youth and adults. In addition to positive feedback through public comments and increased participation in these activities, available funds provided more programs than originally had planned. The Board of Commissioners initiated the elected official summits that brought all county and municipal elected officials together each quarter. At the summits, the elected officials discuss current issues and ways to collaborate in the future to address these issues through unified efforts. Important issues discussed at the summits included plan for growth, school capital needs, transportation needs, and public safety needs. Staff is already planning future meetings to continue the momentum. FY17 budget highlights, priorities, and issues. The Board of Commissioners continued to focus its efforts on the following: planning, growth, and economic development, communications and public education, enhanced public services while providing excellent customer service, public safety, and transportation and mobility. All of these efforts played a major role in board and staff activities throughout the year. A February 2016 scientific survey of Cabarrus County residents found that these issues continue to rate as priorities for our residents as well. A closer look at the survey find that many residents with an opinion, 79% indicated they were either very satisfied or satisfied with the overall quality of services offered to the citizens, and 68% indicated they were either very satisfied or satisfied with the value received for their tax dollars and fees, both significantly higher than the normal national average. In areas of satisfaction with customer service, Cabarrus rated significantly higher than the U.S. average in all categories. which include the way customers are treated, accuracy of information and assistance given, responsiveness of staff, ease of contact, and how well the employees handled the issues. The Board of Commissioners collaborated with the City of Concord, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, North Carolina Department of Transportation, and several other property owners in the Concord Mills and Charlotte Motor Speedway corridor on transportation issues. Together, they planned and advocated for potential state and federal funding to support transportation's improvements that will alleviate current and future congestion on Bruton Smith Boulevard, Concord Mills Boulevard, Weddington Road, and DeRida Road. As a result, North Carolina DOT and the City of Concord have committed future funding to make several improvements over the next few years. The fiscal year 17 budget includes funding to cover the new debt service in the amount of $7,024,013 for the construction of 3 new schools: Mount Pleasant Middle School, Kannapolis Middle School, and Royal Oaks Elementary School. In addition, the budget includes funding that will cover increased expenses, including funding raises, increasing supplements, providing additional retirement funds, increased funding for health insurance costs, etc., for certified and non-certified public school employees. Additional recurring public school current expense funds for FY17 are also proposed at $4,836,800. A product of our growth is an increase in building and the need for additional inspectors within our construction standards department. The proposed budget includes funding for 2 additional inspectors and increased hours to bring an existing part-time position to full-time. These additional inspectors will help staff keep daily inspections at a reasonable level and keep our builders moving forward in a productive manner. EMS will implement Phase 2 of the conversion from 24-hour to 12-hour work shifts in the proposed budget. The budget includes the required new positions to complete the process, along with the necessary fundings to support them. Emergency management will have a reinstatement of an emergency planner position that was removed several years ago. And this will allow them to continue to train and create additional emergency plans for those times of catastrophe or weather events. We are also requesting additional employees within our Human Services Department to address the increase in volume of applicants as a result of changing federal regulations, the necessity to maintain reasonable caseloads, improve staff morale, and most importantly, the safety and well-being of their clients. Cabarrus County continues to trend in a positive direction. As our population races towards 200,000, it is now, more than ever, vital that our elected officials and appointed staff continue to discuss important issues and identify ways to collaborate on solving these problems in the most efficient and effective manner. Economic development efforts must continue to move forward. We strive to combat the 4.9% unemployment rate that exists in our county. Look to increase the average wage of jobs available throughout all of Cabarrus County, and maintain an ad valorem tax rate that is available to fund the programs and services needed and expected by our citizens, without creating an undue financial burden on our businesses and our citizens. In closing, I would like to thank the Board of Commissioners for their willingness to lead our community and to provide staff the opportunity for innovation in providing the programs and services that our citizens need and demand, all while achieving superior positive results. I also would like to thank and commend county staff at all levels, as they truly work hard every day to meet the demands of our great county and its citizens. I would especially like to thank Pam Dubois, our Senior Deputy County Manager, Kristen Jones, our Senior Budget Analyst, Becky Crabtree, our Accountant, Susan Farrington, Finance Director, Jonathan Marshall, our Deputy County Manager, Kyle Billifer, our Information and Asset Management Director, Lundy Covington, our Human Resources Director, for their time and efforts throughout the past 6 months in preparing this budget. Respectfully submitted, Michael K. Downs, County Manager.
Great. Thank you very much. That, I think we all realize represents a great deal of work that has occurred on the part of staff. And in producing this budget and this book that you have given to us that now produces a great deal of work for us to read and understand all of this. But we certainly appreciate yours and all the staff that you mentioned's dedication to this process. I think one of the things that stands out the most is the fact that we are able to maintain our current tax rate. I think it's good information for the public to know, certainly in a revaluation year, that this rate is basically revenue neutral. I think it's 0.0023 cents higher. So that's pretty flat. So we certainly appreciate your work that you have put into this. For the public's benefit, we will have budget work sessions where we will get into detail on more of these items. We have one scheduled for May 24th at 4 p.m. in the multi-purpose room here in the Governmental Center. We have another one scheduled on May 26th, also at 4 p.m. here in this building. The public is welcome to attend any of those meetings, and I think they also may be televised as well, as we get into more detail and have an opportunity to ask questions and look at the budget in greater detail. Do any other commissioners have any comments they'd like to make at this time regarding the budget? If not, I think we need to set a public hearing on the budget, which will occur on June 20th. That will be after we have had these other discussions. And I'm grasping for my place on that right now.
Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, I make a motion that we schedule a public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 17 Cabarrus County budget for Monday, June 20th, 2016 at 6:30 p.m. or as soon thereafter as persons may be heard.
Right. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. And that motion passes. Next item is an addition in new business on our agenda, and that's G8. And this is from Soil and Water. I think Dennis Testerman's going to talk with us about this request.
Got some a graphic image, photograph of the Souther Wet Prairie for you to look at. Thank you very much for accommodating us on late notice. Apparently I'm not the first to do that this month, but it is that time of the year when things start breaking loose from log jams, figurative log jams that have been taking place. We found out several weeks ago that a grant application that we wrote over a year ago was going to be funded with some monies that were available when they found out where projects had come in their budget. This is the North Carolina Clean Water Management Trust Fund. So we are very excited about this. Like so many of our projects with the Soil and Water Conservation District, this particular one began with conservation planning. And to do good planning, we need to know what resources we're working with. So we realized back in the 1990s that we did not have a comprehensive natural heritage survey of Cabarrus County. And with, I believe it was $15,000 from the Board of Commissioners and a matching $15,000 from the state of North Carolina, we hired a consulting group, largely personnel associated with, loosely associated with the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, to canvass our county and see what our best natural areas were. Sometimes I slip up and say we discovered the Souther Wet Prairie in this process, but in fact, we just gave it official recognition. The family has known this was a special place. There's oral history in the family going back to the 1700s when those German folks settled in the eastern part of our county and settled on that area, and it reminded them of the homeland. So this area that you're looking at in the photo has been a meadow for several hundred years now. When we started drilling down on it and bringing in botanists and other experts, we realized what a treasure trove this area was. There are hundreds of plants that are identified in an area that started out around 5 acres and is no more than double that now. In that particular photo, the flashy color, the white is Adamasca lily, and the gentleman that's crouched on the ground, around him are some red flowers that are known as Indian paintbrush. The one plant of all that's garnered the most attention in this prairie is the red Canada lily, and it is imperiled. More common in the mountains, not so much in the Piedmont, and so this is one of that plant is one of the reasons why the state of North Carolina has identified this site for acquisition and addition to their network of nature preserves. Our inventory of significant natural areas was completed in 2002, and several years later, Board of Commissioners adopted that document. This is the first area that we're looking at for permanent protection, and in this case, as I said, through purchase. The Soil and Water Conservation District is proposing to purchase this project with $531,000 in funds from the state of North Carolina that were made available to us just a few weeks ago, and $249,000 in monies from the county Special Projects Fund for agricultural development and farmland protection, for a total of $780,000. We also, our partner in this, the Land Trust for Central North Carolina, obtained a $15,000 grant from the Conservation Trust for North Carolina to help with our acquisition costs, so appraisals, perhaps to cover some of Mr. Cook's attorney fees and other things of that nature. In addition to the Land Trust for Central North Carolina, we've had this is a public-private project, so Ernst Seed Company and Conservation Seeds out of Pennsylvania has come down on multiple trips, and seeds from the Souther Prairie are now being used for beautification projects and conservation projects, certainly all over the southeast, and I suspect some of these seeds are being used throughout the country. Mecklenburg Parks and Recreation has come across the county lines to help us in the past conduct prescribed burns on this property to help manage it. The local North Carolina Forest Service has also helped with those burns. Faculty and staff and students from UNC Charlotte have conducted an enormous amount of research here and have helped out. And our federal partner, the United States Department of Agriculture's Natural Resources Conservation Service, has provided funds for some management activities that have taken place out here. I guess the last two things I wanted to say tied back into the future of Cabarrus County and the green side of our infrastructure here and the development that we're doing. We're all familiar with Reed Gold Mine and that part of our natural heritage. This is a site that probably won't be quite as famous in some ways, but yet probably more people internationally know about this site maybe than Reed Gold Mine already. But I like to refer to this as the green gold in Cabarrus County. It's a very unique site. And the contributions that it's already making to science and conservation work is pretty impressive. I'd like to thank the Souther family most of all for recognizing the importance of this and being willing to sell it. It reflects the stewardship ethic that has carried over from one generation to the next in that family, and if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here tonight discussing this. I know this is a relatively new item for you, other than what was said over a year ago when we came before you to ask for permission to submit the grant, but I'd be willing to answer any questions that you might have.
Questions for Mr. Testerman? One thing that I will mention, the money that, of course, you said $531,000 is a grant. The $249,000, that will be the match from Cabarrus County. And I think you mentioned that does come from the fund, that money comes from extra taxes that people pay when they are converting farmland into development. Is that correct?
3 years back taxes, when land goes out of the present use valuation program because it's being developed, those are, rather than going to the general fund, they've been set aside for a number of years now for this special fund.
Right, exactly. And so those funds that they pay are a result of land being developed that we've been trying to protect. And so now that enables us to reinvest that money into other areas where we're trying to protect. So it does not come from folks' property taxes and that sort of thing. I think that's important to note. Yeah, are there any other comments or questions? If not, then I would entertain a motion regarding this item.
Chairman, I'll move to approve.
Okay, and that is a motion to accept grant award and approve the contract between Cabarrus County, Cabarrus Soil and Water Conservation District, and the North Carolina Clean Water Management Trust Fund, and authorize the county manager to execute the contract on behalf of Cabarrus County, subject to review or revisions by the county attorney. Great. Do I have a second?
I think there's a budget amendment that goes with that too, isn't there?
Yes, that was on the next page.
Does that one require two motions, Mr. Chairman?
Do we can do that all in one
All in
motion.
one motion?
Right, so add to that motion to approve the required budget amendment and revision to the small projects capital project ordinance. Great.
That's the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Okay, any questions or discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. And that motion passes. Thank you. We are excited to protect this valuable asset in Cabarrus County.
Thank you for being our valuable partner on this.
Great. Okay, next on our agenda is appointments to boards and committees. And first, we have Active Living and Parks Commission. The Northwest Cabarrus Area Representative position on the Active Living and Parks Commission is currently vacant. An application to serve on the Active Living and Parks Commission has been received from Megan Bumgarner to serve as a Northwest Cabarrus Area Representative. Ms. Bumgarner also serves on the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. An exception to the service on multiple boards provision of the appointment policy will be needed for her. I will point out that we do have a list of a number of people that have applied, but she is the only one that qualifies for that area. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to appoint Megan Bumgarner to the Active Living and Parks Commission as the Northwest Cabarrus Area Representative for a 3-year term ending January 31st, 2019, including an exception to the service on multiple boards provision of the appointment policy.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And that motion passes. Next, we have appointments and removals, and this is on the Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee. The Regional Ombudsman requests the removal of Mr. Kim Henson from the Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee roster due to failure to complete the required facility visits and complete required quarterly training. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to remove Mr. Henson from the Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee roster as requested by the Regional Ombudsman.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a second? Second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no, and that motion passes. We have a number of reports that are attached to your information as well. And at this time, we will receive updates from commission members who serve as liaisons to municipalities or on various boards and committees, if anyone has something. I will mention one thing in regards to our library. We have a special guest with us here tonight, and this is Flat Dale. He is a pint-sized version of our favorite NASCAR driver, and this was designed by Cabarrus County's own Sam Bast, the first official artist for NASCAR. The Dale Earnhardt Jr. Foundation created Flat Dale for kids to take on adventures and document their journey with Flat Dale. Sam Bass will be giving children their own Flat Dales during the All-Star Read Meet and Greet, and that is Thursday, May 19th. That's Thursday of this week, at 4:15 p.m. at the Concord branch of the library, and this will be immediately prior to the Holler Parade and Fan Fest. Sam Bass will be there, and also Martha Earnhardt, the real Dale's grandmother, and they will be having a special story time with the kids. So we encourage everybody to come out and take advantage of that. Go to the library, meet Flat Dale, and hear some stories, and then stay downtown and enjoy the Hollers Parade, which I think gets underway at 5 o'clock. There's a fan fest prior to that, and then there are concerts following it, so it's going to be a very fun evening. So we encourage everybody to come out and take advantage of that. And does any other general comments by board members? If not, we do have need for a closed session tonight. And at this time, this is regarding pending litigation and economic development. I would entertain a motion to go into closed session per North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A, 3, and 4.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no, and we are adjourned to closed session. Thank you.